If you ask most parents what's important to them, culture or Islam, of course they say Islam. But if you see their actions, you see the first thing that they compromise is Islam, and the last thing they compromise is their culture, and actions speak louder than words. In Islam, it's very important to be obedient to your parents. So much so that you have to listen to everything that they say. Except, of course, when they ask you to do actions that Islam forbids. Many parents, including the cultural ones, love the part of Islam where the kid has to listen to whatever the parent tells them to do. But what many fail to realize is that with this responsibility comes accountability. The problem is that there's so many parents that mix culture with Islam, label the whole thing Islam, and then tell their kids to follow them, while the kid thinks he's following Islam, but he's really following culture and Islam, which isn't Islam. The sad part is that Islam is taught as just a bunch of rituals. So what happens is these kids are raised going through the motions, and that's it. They just go through the motions. We end up praying without even understanding the meaning of what we're saying. We end up fasting without really understanding why we're fasting. Kids are born into Islam, but they don't understand what Islam means. These same kids eventually become teenagers, and one day these parents wake up and they realize that their relationship with their own kids is disconnected.
Hey bro, can I talk to you for a second?
I am not your bro, I am your father. What do you want, Hamza?
Dude, I told you I don't like it when you call me Hamza. Call me Ham.
I don't like ham. What do you want, Hamza?
I want to go to this party and I was gonna ask you for like $20.
I am not giving you $20 because there is no dancing for you.
Why?
Because pigs is haram, dancing is haram, eating pigs while dancing is very haram. You like the joke? Now get away, you're bothering me.
What? Is that like one of your jokes? Am I getting my $20 or what?
You know, Hamza, you need to be more cultural. So if you can maybe dance a little with your cousins at the next party, I think you're going to like it, okay? Be a little more cultural, Hamza, a little more. When it comes to free mixing, most cultural parents don't take it seriously. This is why, if you're raised culturally rather than Islamically, you're probably very comfortable with your cousins. While in reality, they're no different than your mahram, so they're no different than anyone else that you're allowed to marry, so those same rules apply. But because you're raised culturally, you probably don't take that part of Islam seriously, even though we're supposed to take it seriously. The culture that we're so proud of, that we hold on to so tightly, is not going to help us on the Day of Judgment whatsoever. In fact, all that cultural stuff that actually conflicts with Islam is going to count against us on the Day of Judgment. Something to think about. You see, when children are young, they learn by imitating. As they start growing older, they start thinking and start making decisions on their own that impact their identity. So as parents, it's our responsibility to give them the tools that they need so they can make the right decisions. When I became Muslim, I was intellectually convinced that this deen was the truth. I wasn't raised with Islam, so it was never really an option for me to practice or not practice because I didn't know anything about it. And because I was never raised with it, I didn't look at it as just a bunch of rituals or a bunch of things that tradition because my father did it and his grandfather did it. No. I got a chance to look at it deeply and see it through an intellectual way rather than just a spiritual way. Otherwise, being Muslim isn't easy, especially in the Western world where there's so much temptations going everywhere. Waking up early morning every day to pray, fasting the months of Ramadan, going through the hardships of Hajj, going through all the different things that we go through in our normal life. You have so much temptation all around you. So to be Muslim is very, very difficult. And this is why it's so important to be intellectually convinced that this deen is the truth rather than just following it because everyone else is following it. And this is why it's important for you to investigate and learn about your deen rather than just doing it because everyone else is doing it. All of us are going to go through trials in our lifetime, and how you do in these trials depends on how strong your foundation is. Your aqidah is your foundation. It is the core to your belief. If you have doubt in it, then you're going to have some tough times when you go through these different trials when your iman is being tested. Now, and if your parents are like most parents, which are more cultural than religious, you can't use it as an excuse not to learn your deen. It's tough. It's really tough, especially with cultural parents. But remember, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not going to put you through a trial that you can't do. And for the parents who watch my videos, you can't just drop off your kid once a week at the local masjid and hope that fulfills your responsibility of teaching everything he needs to know about Islam. It doesn't, because that's not enough.
Especially when you don't practice it yourself and you want your kids to follow the parts of Islam that benefits you and not to follow the parts of Islam that conflicts with the culture, your culture, because that is joke. Joke! So for the parents that are watching, you'll notice that many of the kids today, they're going away from the culture because they found something better. They found Islam. As a reminder, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordered your kids to listen to you, but with that right comes an accountability, and you'll be asked on what you did with that right.
Hey Dad, do you remember that time I was telling you about that dance a while back ago? Well, I never went. So anyways, there's this new cat in school, he's Muslim, and I'm like, whoa bro, I'm Muslim. I don't really know about Islam because my dad kind of like dropped me off at the local mosque and like picked me up, and like I'm trying to memorize all this stuff, but I don't know what I'm saying, and like anyways, he was cool about that. Like he didn't act all weird or preachy, he just kind of like whenever I asked him questions, he answered my questions, so I've been learning from him.
You already know about our religion. I sent you to Islamic school when you were young.
I remember, but you never really explained what I was learning, so I was kind of like, didn't take it seriously, and then I kind of like drifted off because I never got in here, and now I'm like learning it from him, and he's like making it so clear, and like, I want to go back.
What? Why?
Because Islam is like a complete way of life, and once I open up the Quran and start reading it, it's like, whoa, it really touched my heart, and I want to read more and learn more, and then I said I can come home and ask you questions.
No, I don't have time for that. You're too young to practice. Wait till you get old.
Old? I don't even know if I'm gonna get old. I'm just trying to follow the right thing.
Whatever you want, I don't care. I'm busy.
Dad, I'm not trying to bother you. I just want to ask you a quick question. Something's been boggling my mind. It's been bothering me. So I know you know Islam is the truth because when I was a kid, you used to tell everybody about it. And it was like, whoa, my dad's a great speaker. And then when I used to come home, I'm like, why isn't this guy practicing? He doesn't practice what he preaches. But I kind of like ignored it and just kind of like did my own thing. And then I discovered Islam, and it's amazing, and like I wonder to myself, why didn't my dad ever tell me any of this stuff? Why didn't he tell me what Islam means and why we're doing what we're doing? So I'm just wondering, the question I have for you, Dad, I'm just wondering, like when you stand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of judgment, and he asks you, why didn't you teach your kids Islam? What are you gonna say? Because I have the same question, Dad. What are you gonna say? Why didn't you teach me?
This is Ali reminding you just in case you forgot. This is Ali reminding you just in case you forgot.